Hi, hello, everybody. I am so excited to be here today because we are having the coolest, the most amazing, the most transformative conversation that you will ever be able to be a part of. And I'm so excited to bring that to you because we are chatting today with Nikki Pollan, who is the creator of Conscious Parenting, who is so amazing. And we are talking about those moments when you have a high-risk pregnancy, or you're going through fertility treatment, or you're on bed rest, and you've got all the stuff going on, and your older child is throwing a fit. What do you do? I gotta say, I did not have another child when I was going through all of that myself. So I don't know personally what that's like, but almost every single one of my clients is a second, third, fourth time mom who has children at home. And one of the biggest concerns that they say they have is, I don't know what to do with my kid because she knows that things have changed, or he knows that I can't be the mom I used to be because I'm on bed rest, or they're just being 3 and I don't know what to do because I'm maxed out completely. So I'm so excited to introduce you to Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Welcome. I'm so happy you're here.
Hello. Thank you so much, Patty Judd, for inviting me to come to this group. I really appreciate being here. And hello to all the moms out there. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and listen to this Facebook chat. So I really hope it's helpful and practical.
It's going to blow your minds. So ladies, if you are watching this, whether you're watching it live or you're catching the replay, leave your comments below. Nikki and I will be checking. If you're watching it live, we'll get to your questions live. But otherwise, let's dive in. Nikki, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do. And then I know you've got a ton of stuff for us, so we can just jump right in.
Great. Yeah, thanks. So I'm a life coach and a conscious parenting coach as well. And so I help clients deal with usually the day-to-day stuff, and temper tantrums, of course, is one of the day-to-day things that a lot of my clients come to see me about. I have a different approach, so this may be a very different approach than you're used to when it comes to temper tantrums, but this is as real as it gets, and the advice that I'm about to offer you, I hope, is really going to be something that is transformative. And I've been thinking about this group since this invitation, Patty Judd, and it really resonated with me on a number of levels. I had a high-risk pregnancy. I was pregnant with twins. I had 3 different complications. So I was on pretty much strict bed rest for 6 months. I was bleeding. I bled the entire pregnancy. It was extremely stressful. So my heart goes out to all you moms. I really do understand what that's like. I didn't have children, of course, at the time. These were my first and only, the twins. But having twins, going through the terrible twos, as we call it, I, again, completely understand what trying to deal with temper tantrums is like. And I was one of those moms who actually really got triggered by my children's temper tantrums. I had a hard time dealing with them. And so part of the work that I do now is to help moms who were like me. I was able to really look at temper tantrums now in a different way, see them in a different way, and respond in a different way rather than react, which is what I'm doing. Which
it really pulls you to want to be like, Gah!
Well, they push our buttons, right? And so anyway, this is why I'm here. And because this touched my heart so much, I took some time to create a little ebook for all you moms, because I put everything in here and I realized there's no way I can do this in 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So I really wanted to pack some really, again, practical, down-to-earth tips for you to really help you get through your days on bed rest. So I can jump in if you want, or if I don't know if there's questions already, or we just dive right in.
Yeah, let's dive right in. I mean, if you want me, maybe we can start with where you think, what do we need to know first to be able to manage these temper tantrums?
Well, the very first thing, and this is in the guide that I'll be handing out. If people are interested, they can email me and get this. But one of the very first things that you need to know in your heart and in your mind, you cannot meet every need of your child.
That is so good. That is so good.
We just simply cannot. We put this enormous amount of pressure on ourselves to meet every need of every child of every day. And there's no parent, no mother, no father on this planet who can do that. So I think one is just knowing that expectation is unrealistic and to let go. And the key as well is to know that you are not the only source of meeting your child's needs. Hopefully you have a partner, you have family, you have friends, daycare teachers, other teachers, babysitters, resources, neighbors. So we have to let go of the fact that we can't do it all, and we actually don't want to do it all, right?
Yeah.
Our children's experience much more deep and a breadth of experience when there are multiple people meeting their needs. So
I can really speak to that actually, because when my son was born extremely preterm. And so for the first 2.5 years after he came home, so he was in the hospital for months, and then 2.5 years after that, we were on lockdown. So we couldn't go anywhere, and it was just me and him. And we do have, family nearby. We have friends nearby, but nobody could see him. And I could really feel by the time he was about 18 months or so, I could feel like, okay, I'm kind of reaching my limit of what I can do for him. And definitely by the time he turned 2, I was like, I can tell I'm not enough for him. And not in a self-disparaging way, but really just from he needs more people, because I can't be everything to him because I'm not supposed to be everything for him.
Exactly. Yeah. So if moms who are out there, just really sink that into your heart and your mind that you can't do it all. You're not expected to do it all. And that hopefully will take a lot of the pressure off of you to think that you are the center of your child's world.
Yes.
We shouldn't be. It's not healthy.
Right. That takes a lot of pressure off when we really let that sink in.
Right. One of the other things that I think is really important, especially in this state that these moms are in, right? Bed rest or various levels and severities of bed rest and limited with their capabilities of what they can do, is to actually know what you can offer. Be really clear on what you can do. Can you get up? Can you play on the floor? Can you go for walks? Can you help your child with homework? Can you do baking? What kind of activities actually are you able to offer? So rather than focusing on your limitations and your restrictions, focus on what you are able to do.
Yeah.
And when you do what you can do it with everything that you've got, your whole heart and your full attention and presence. And that's where the connection with your child will really flourish, is what you can do, really focusing on that.
Yeah. I had a client once recently who was in this boat too. She had a 3-year-old and she was pregnant and on bed rest with her second. And she was just devastated that she couldn't do bedtime with her daughter anymore because she wasn't allowed to lift her. She couldn't sit on the floor by the bed. She couldn't even sit on the bed. And it was hard. It was heartbreaking. And of course, we spent a lot of time grieving that loss of losing, these several months where she couldn't do that special bonding time with her. And then we did exactly what you said is, well, what parts of bedtime can you still do?
Right.
And they realized, oh yeah, I can actually still read books to her. And so then it became a new ritual. It's not the same. It's not meant to replace what they used to do, but they were able to come up with a new ritual that her daughter actually could participate in creating, so that they had these special moments with at least the books during bedtime, which was so massively transformative for their relationship.
Beautiful. Yeah. We forget and we focus on the negative,
right?
And all the challenges, but turning it around to focus on what you can do and really knowing that for yourself.
Yes.
Another piece of this is, I think it's really important for moms to know that during this time, their ability to hold boundaries will be compromised, right? So during this time, it's a stressful time, it's a challenging time, knowing that you won't be able to hold your limits, hold your boundaries, and keep your rules in your house like you normally would.
Yeah.
And part of this whole idea is a mentality of letting go, letting things go. This isn't the time for 8 o'clock is 8 o'clock. This isn't the time for 2 minutes is 2 minutes. It's a time to give yourself some space, give yourself some time, and not be as strict. And I know it's the opposite of what people want to do during these stressful time. Yeah, we want to rein things in. We want to control. We want to be firm. I say it's the absolute opposite. Because the more boundaries you have, or rule, I call them boundaries, but typically known as rules, the more rules you have, the more you have to enforce the rules. So the more strict you are, it actually comes back to you to hold these limits, to hold these rules and boundaries.
Because they're going to check and see how serious are you. Right.
And so if you're in a incapacitated state or limited mobility state or whatever it happens to be, you're actually now doing yourself a disservice, and you're actually setting yourself up for failure if you are not able to follow through. And so this is a time really to let stuff go. You can communicate that with your children and say, for now, we have some flexibility during this time that mom is on bed rest. We're not going to be, doing this, and this, or I'm going to be less firm on this, and this, or I'm going to, leave my expectations for this, and this. But it's really being clear on what you want in terms of rules and what you don't want and what you are willing to be a little bit more flexible with.
So it's almost like an opportunity to reevaluate what your rules are. So you're not saying throw them all out the window. You're saying which ones are your absolute must-haves, and the rest of them, let it go, because now's not the time.
Now is not the time. What will serve you as the parent? What's going to serve me? If bedtime is 8 o'clock and I'm going to hold that firm, if that serves me and I'm able to follow through and I'm able to hold that boundary, great. But if I'm not able to hold that boundary, why would I set myself up to do something that I simply can't do, which will create frustration, which will create disappointment. This will be part of the creating of my own temper tantrum, my own mommy meltdown, right? Because my child likely will not be able to uphold the things that I'm asking. It's not reasonable at this time.
And I love that you said it's not reasonable at this time, because now we're not saying this is forever. Absolutely. It's a nice reminder that this is just a phase. It feels like eternity, as you and I both know personally.
Yeah.
But really recognizing that it's okay. And I can speak to this too, because it sounds easy to do, but then I know, especially for a lot of the women that I work with and myself too, I like rules. I like structure. I like predictability. And so to be able to do that on the one hand feels awesome. And on the other hand, like, wait, but I can't do that. And so, but to what I hear you saying is, this is what's going to make you the best parent, because it's going to set you up for success, which is going to set your child up for success. And that's going to really minimize the amount of tantrums you both have as you're going through this.
Right. And in this, in the little ebook that I created, I actually created an awareness worksheet. So this will give moms an opportunity to actually write down, what rules am I going to hold? What rules am I willing to be a little bit flexible with? And what rules for now am I throwing out the window because they don't serve me? This is the key. This is for this moment, to really allow yourself to be open to what is going to be in my best interest in terms of my children.
Yes. And I think it goes back to your first point of, you can't be everything to your child. And especially now when your resources are being taken to keep your second or third or fourth child safe,
right?
You're spread thin. You're spread more thin than we like to admit. But that's the reality. And the sooner you can accept that, the easier these transitions will be.
Yes. Yeah. And so another part of this is what I recommend as well, is to really know your best time of the day. When are you at your best? So for example, for me, I'm at my best between 8 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. And really, if you know your best time, then leverage that. That's the time where you'll have more energy to spend with your child. You'll have more creativity, more passion, more engagement, and therefore more quality time.
Love it.
Really think about how you can leverage that with not just your child, but with your partner, with, whatever friends come to visit or whatever that is. Really know your best times.
Yeah.
And also know where are the times that are not so great for you, but you can get through it. right? There's that in-between time that you may need a little bit of help or a little bit of support, or you need to adjust your expectations of your children as well and yourself. And the most important is know your best before date. It's like a carton of milk. There is a date and a time where it goes bad. And moms need to know the time that they are no longer able to function at a quality that they like. So for me, my best before time is 9 o'clock. So anything else, and my children know this, they make fun of me now. When my daughter comes to me at 9:10, Mommy, can you help me with my homework? I look at her and I say, look at the clock. And she looks at the clock. She says, oh, right. It's past your best before date.
That is awesome. That is so great.
Because there's no point. Yeah, this is all self-awareness. There's no point engaging in homework or reading a third story or whatever it is at 10 after 9. I don't have the patience, I don't have the presence, I don't have the engagement. It won't go well. And because I'm actually dealing with some health issues myself right now. And so I know it, and it's a firm boundary. And I say to them, I would love to have done that with you earlier. I wish you would come to me earlier. And so, this is part of their 10. So this is part of them learning to manage their time as well. And I do remind them usually, Mommy's hitting her best before date. If there's anything you need to do it now. Don't ask me in half an hour.
Right. I can see when people hear that there might be a twinge of guilt going, well, I can't say that to my child. Like what, like poor thing, their heart's going to break if they find out I can't be available to them when they want. And I think it just, again, ties so perfectly back to what you said earlier that I'm just going to show here again, because it's so important. You cannot do everything and be everyone all the time for your child. You cannot. It is not you. It is not me. It is none of us can.
Right.
And really allowing yourself to let that go and have compassion for yourself and say, look what I'm modeling for my child. I'm showing him or her that there are limits, just like they have limits. You know what they are, right? You keep them out for 2, 3, 4 hours at a time in a day. They're going to melt down like crazy.
Yeah. Same
Thing. They learn that you're the same, and they start to respect their body signals, and they start to respect you, which is so amazing. I mean, I have goosebumps hearing you say this. This is fabulous.
Great. Yeah, no, it's key. It is exactly what you said. It's modeling. If we don't show our children self-care, then they will run themselves ragged. They will say yes when they really mean no. And we don't want to teach them that. They need to know boundaries, and they need to know that, no is no. But of course, all of this we do with love and compassion, right? We say this to our child. Oh, honey, I would love to read you another story, but I really have had enough. Let's save that for tomorrow, or let's do that another time. It's not a firm no in a harsh way. It's a no. It's a no with a tomorrow, or a no with a yes, if you will. Right? It's a no, not now, but yes, later.
Yeah.
And they need to know that. They need to know that I'm not a servant, right? I'm not a short order cook. I'm not an entertainer, you know, that I have my life, I have my needs. And if I don't meet them, then I can't meet their needs.
Right. And what a better time to learn that than now, when there's another sibling on the way. And especially if you have an only child right now, and this is your second coming in, I mean, it's a huge shift for them to learn how to share your time, share your space, which is so, so important. Yeah. I know for me, the way that I explain it to my kiddo is I try to relate it back to how he felt. Like, remember that time when we were at the mall and you were just, you said he describes it as his head feeling hot when he's about to have a tantrum or he's overstimulated. He calls it, my brain gets hot. It's like, remember when your brain gets hot? That's how I'm feeling right now. And you can see the change on his face. He's like, oh, I get that.
Right.
Okay. I see where we are now. It's amazing. And he's only 4. I mean, just turned 5. So it's amazing how much they know at a very young age.
Great. That's beautiful. Great.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the last things, again, for well-being is when I invite the moms to really zoom out and look at the big picture. So when there's, chaos happening, there's crappy things happening, conflict, whatever it is to stop, zoom out, and really see what's important. Mm-hmm. So if it's your connection with your child is important, children that you have now, your health is important, your future baby's health is important. That's when it becomes so clear to let things go and let things drop. But we need to zoom out, literally zoom out and sit and look at the big picture and really hold sacred what is important. And it's amazing when we do that. We go, yeah, the spilt milk, who cares? The crayon on the wall, who cares?
Right.
She
laundry piling up.
Who cares? Who cares? It really helps to focus in on what's important.
Yeah. Nikki, a question here that I get often is, if I let the laundry pile up, then my mom's going to come over and she's going to make comments. Or if what a terrible person I am that dishes are piling up and we're eating on paper plates. There's a lot of judgment that we have for ourselves. I have done it plenty myself too, about letting these things go. And what do you say to women who are stuck in that place of, okay, I get it, I hear you. Yeah, let it go. Laundry really doesn't matter because I know what's most important is not having contractions right now, and I have contractions when I fold laundry. But still they're going, but I can't do that because what does it say about me? What does it say about my inability to do this? And how do you handle that judgment piece?
Well, I think, again, it comes back to what's important to you and honoring your needs. No mother-in-law, neighbor, friend really has a right to make any comments about how we live our lives. Mm-hmm. And if we're doing this out of our authenticity, if we're doing this from our truth of letting the laundry go or letting the dishes go or whatever it is, if we do it from our own internal truth, no matter what anyone says, it won't have an impact on us. Mm-hmm. And so it's really being grounded in what your needs are. Now, if you're not sure of what your needs are and you're doing it for other reasons, this is where the external factors come into play, that we do get pulled by what others think and what others expect of us. But if you say to yourself, I'm not doing the laundry, I don't care about the laundry, doing the puzzle with my child right now is more important. Connecting with them now because I'm at my best time right now and the laundry can wait. Mother-in-law comes in and you stay grounded. Mm-hmm. You know your truth. You know you're taking care of your physical needs, your emotional needs, and your child's needs in this example. Nothing else will matter. So it's really tapping into your authentic self and your needs and holding that sacred and not letting anything waver that.
Yeah, really trusting it and building that confidence around it.
Right.
Know that you know best, which is a great exercise too. As you know, if you have one child already or multiple, how people have comments all the time about everything. And so this is a great kind of boot camp in learning how to say, you know what, I got this. This is what we're doing because this is what's best for us right now.
Exactly. This is my business and my choice and my decision.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm holding to it because it's going to serve me and my higher needs right now.
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, I could sit here and chat with you the entire day. I'm just like, tell me more. But I know we're coming up towards the end of our chat time. And I would love to know, I mean, we're talking about so much of just building the foundation of how to prevent tantrums. And I got to be honest, when I first, connected with you, I thought we were going to talk a lot about the child. And I love that you have flipped this around and so much of it starts with us. And so you've shared so much amazing insight about what to do about our well-being. And now I'm curious if you have, maybe your top 3 best tips now, once moms have kind of wrapped their heads around these top 7, or kind of the top 3 things that they can do to help curb those tantrums when they do happen, because they will, even if you do all this perfectly.
Well, so the first and foremost is to know children have temper tantrums. They are actually normal. They're a part of the child's brain development. And they happen because the child is unable to regulate their emotions because their brain is not yet wired. And so it is absolutely normal and important, in fact, for child development to have temper tantrums. So first and foremost, expect them. Expect them daily. Expect them to happen. And when they do, is to see them as neutral. They are not happening to you. It's not personal. They are happening.
Yeah, it's hard not to take it personally for sure. So I'm glad you said that.
Absolutely. And I did too. My child's tantrum evoked my own tantrum within me.
Yeah.
But this is the key. Our children are our mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
So my children's chaos was simply revealing to me my own inner chaos.
Wow. Yes. Yes.
My own feelings of my own childhood wounds that hadn't been healed, my own uncertainty about things, my own lack of boundaries, my own lack of limits. Yes. This is what my children were showing me. I honestly believe our children are our teachers.
Yes, I totally agree with you. 100% agree with you.
They are here to raise us.
Yes.
Because I cannot raise a child if I have not raised myself to a higher level of consciousness and awareness. Yes. I cannot. Nope. Garbage in, garbage out, right? If I don't elevate and evolve and do my own personal transformation work, I can only raise my child to the level that I'm at.
Yeah.
They require more than where I'm at. And so they show me what I have left to heal and what I have left to work on.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So when it comes to tantrums, it's really important to leave it as neutral as you can. No judgments that it's wrong, no labeling it as manipulative, or no false beliefs that you're a bad mom because you can't control your child. Leave it as neutral as you can. And again, no story. Take the story of, oh my God, it's always going to be like this. It's always going to happen. How embarrassing. Take it out. Take it out and just be as neutral as you can and be in the moment and know that they, in fact, may need to have this tantrum. Tantrums are actually important for their emotional development.
Yeah.
And as we know, sometimes it's a release. Yeah. Right? They have pent up frustration, they have pent up anger, and having a tantrum is actually a really healthy way to release their emotions. Now, we don't want them to hurt themselves. We don't want them to hurt others. We don't want them to, smash the vase or break things. Right? That's not okay. But for the most part, when our child has a tantrum, let them. Be present. Offer your physical presence. No talking. No saying anything.
Right.
Be there. Allow them to explode if they need to explode. Keep them safe. And be available for them with your loving presence. They will actually tantrum faster if you leave them, and they will learn the rise of the feeling. They will learn the experience of the physicalness, and they will learn that it subsides. They will learn that it's not forever. Yeah. When we intervene, when we say something, when we try to shut them down, we actually extend it longer, and they don't get to actually experience that rise and fall of emotion. We cut it short. And that experience, again, is really important for brain development, especially in toddlers.
Yes. That's what we used to do with my son when he was younger and he was in that tantrum. I mean, it still happens now, but I would just sit next to him. I'd sit when he's having it. I would just sit there and say, I'm here when you're done. Right. And I could see that wave that you're exactly talking about. He goes up, he escalates, he hits that peak. And then he kind of just looks around. He's like, oh, you're still there. Okay. And then it just kind of drops down from like screaming to crying to whimpering. And then he'd like back up and sit on my lap and just like, and then calm him down. And once he was calm, then I could talk to him, because when you're in the middle of it, like even for us, when we're at the peak of our emotional intensity, it doesn't matter what people are saying to us. We can't take it in, and let alone these little people whose brains are not fully formed at all.
Right.
And you're right, it does cut them down quite a bit. They got so much shorter when I was just like, okay, I'm just going to wait this out and wait for you until you're ready.
Yeah. 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 And the other thing too is, in tantrums, no children will say things and do things they do not mean. Just like we do, right? We say, when we're in the heat of the moment, we say things and do things that we also don't mean. So it's really important just to focus on the relationship. Let all that stuff go. Yes, they may have said, you're the worst mother in the world. Yes, said, I hate you forever. They may have thrown something at you. They may have tried to kick you. You know what? Those are symptoms of their emotional dysregulation, and ignore them. I know that's super hard to do. And we focus on the rude behavior. We focus on the swearing. We focus on that. And I say don't, because if the relationship and connection is the most important piece, you won't get to it through that.
Yeah.
You'll get to it. Those are symptoms. You'll get through it to it with the need. What's the need underneath that? And believe it or not, the need is connection. It's the last thing, right? It's the last thing we think when our kid is saying, you're the worst mother in the world.
Yeah.
They actually want to connect with you, and they
don't know how.
They don't know how. So it's really important to let all that stuff go.
Yeah. And it goes back to what you were saying earlier, is that it pushes on your stuff. You know, what is it that needs healing in you? Because in order to allow that space for your child to act that way, you've got to do a lot of healing on in yourself. So it's so important that you keep that distance. If this is not, this is about you. This is about the space that you need. This is not about me. And do that work on yourself as quickly as you can.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is really hitting home so much. And I know that our viewers they're just taking away so much from this. And you have so much more to share, and I wish we had more time for this.
I know.
Tell me, so you have an ebook available for our viewers. Tell us a little bit about it.
So I put it together. Again, I was just really inspired by these group of moms that are dealing with both high risk pregnancy and children that they already have with temper tantrums. And that's just, I can see a colliding of two worlds. So I wanted to put together something to give everybody. So in here, there's 7 keys for your emotional well-being, 13 tips to reduce temper tantrums, 5 effective ways to respond to your child's temper tantrums, and 10 things to do when you lose your mind.
Because that happens a lot. Let's be real.
Well, we do have our own mummy meltdowns. I actually call them monster mummy moments. And this is actually where with my business, I'm focusing on moms who find themselves raging at their children, because I had many monster mummy moments, and it was really difficult. It took me years and years and years to figure out what it was, to look at it, to see it, and to realize it was me.
Yeah, fully.
My child wasn't making me angry, even though I was convinced for years that they were. But, I had an aha moment, my awakening moment, when I went, oh my God, this is about me. Mm-hmm. And so I put some 10 tips in here when you do have a mummy meltdown. How do you 10 things that you can do to get through it. And it's normal. There's not a mother on this planet who hasn't lost it.
Yes. It's multiple times.
Multiple times a day.
Yes.
It's normal. It's part of our parenting journey. And it is the most beautiful gift for personal transformation. Wow. The gift is in the rage. The rage, and I'll quickly just say, the rage is unmet needs within you.
Yes.
The anger is anger is a symptom. It's not actually a primary emotion. There's another emotion that's under that. And those are your unmet needs. You don't feel heard. You don't feel seen. You don't feel loved. You don't feel respected. You don't feel wanted. You don't feel special. You don't feel connected.
Mm-hmm.
These are all of our emotions that come to the surface through our child's, yes, through their behavior, through what they're saying or not saying or not doing, but it's not because of them. They're simply finding wounds that we already have.
Mm-hmm.
They're pushing buttons that already exist.
Yep. Yep.
And this is where the gift is, to look within and see what is left unhealed within me that my child is revealing to me.
Yes.
And this is the invitation. This is the gift to go in and reparent yourself. Offer yourself what you didn't receive. And not because our parents were bad.
Right.
Our parents did the best that they could.
Right.
Just like we're doing the best that we can every single day.
Yes.
It's just the way of it. It's the way of it. And it's an invitation for personal transformation.
Yes. And what it brings up for me too is that, again, what an amazing model for your child to see you doing that work, even as an adult. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a gift. It's really a gift. And now I can now raise my children to a higher place because I've raised myself to a higher place.
Yes. And then to do all of this while you're going through a crisis, a medical crisis, like a high-risk pregnancy, being on bed rest, even if you're going through fertility treatment, you're experiencing losses or, failed cycles, things like, these are all real wounds that are being created right now. And to be able to do this, it can feel overwhelming maybe, but I love Nikki's approach of you take it a little bit at a time. And be realistic. We're not trying to, change the whole world in 5 minutes. We're just trying to do the best we can and do just a little bit better and then a little bit better. Yeah. And I wish I had known you during my pregnancy. I really, truly, I didn't, like I said, I didn't have another child at home, but just even the emotional experience of all of this. And then once he came home, obviously, too, it would have been really wonderful to know you, because I love your approach. I love how practical it is. I love how hands-on it is and how much you've turned something that can be so difficult into something so positive, and so positive for you and the rest of the family, which is amazing. It's
a gift. It was a gift. And if you had said this to me 10 years, I would have laughed and thought, no way, is my monster mummy moments a gift? Yeah. But it was the defining moment in my life. I would not be doing what I'm doing right now, which I love, being a life coach. I love conscious parenting. I wouldn't be doing this had I not had these beautiful children who came into my life to show me what I needed to work on.
Yes.
So It's a blessing.
This is wonderful. So for all of you that are watching, if you're catching it on replay, let us know that you're watching it on replay. Just hit replay in the comments. And for anybody that's watching, Nikki has been so generous to offer this ebook completely for free to all of you. You can just email her. You can see the email right below here at nikki@jicp.ca. Is that right? I got that written down right?
Yeah, JICP is for Journey into Conscious Parenting.
Perfect.
And I also have a Facebook page as well called Nikki Paulin, Journey into Conscious Parenting. If you're interested, I offer, again, tips and tricks on conscious parenting. And I'm a best-selling author of Unlock Your Parenting Potential, Key to More Joy, Peace, and Connection. And I don't know if you know Dr. Shefali Tsabari, but she wrote the foreword to my book. She is the master of conscious parenting.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. I love her. She's been one of my teachers for the past 5 years, and she wrote the foreword to my book. And
amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing so much of what you do and so much wisdom for our moms who you've been one of them. It's hard stuff. Yeah. And I know for a fact that everything you've shared is going to really transform the way that they experience the rest of their pregnancy and then their journey into parenthood once the baby's here.
Right. Yeah, I'm wishing all you moms all the best. You've got this. I know you can do it. Tap deep into your authentic soul and your spirit and be the best you can be. I know it's all there, and I know it's hard, but this is a beautiful journey. Beautiful journey.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us. If you're catching the replay, or if you think of questions later, just leave them in the comments below. I'll be monitoring comments, and if there's anything specifically for Nikki, I'll tag her and have her come on and answer them for you. Thank you all so much. Wishing you all very happy holidays and a very happy new year. And I will be back live again in 2018 with more amazing people like Nikki to come and join us and share their expertise with us. I'll talk to you all very soon. Take care.
Hi.